Hi everybody, this is Alicia Markfort. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in St. Paul, Minnesota. Today is coffee break. No. Today is coffee break and cards with Lish. If you're watching along with me, I would love to, say hi. I'd love to see who's here and we can chat a little bit. So yeah. I just going to bring up a few things here, so in case my comments do go away, I am able to see them. So I have another setup here on my tablet, and yeah, I just want to make sure that's on. Hi everybody. And of course there's the volume, so let's get rid of that. Okay. Hi everybody. How's everybody doing? Is everybody ready for today? I don't know if I am. I've been kind of out of it all day today, and hopefully today's live goes great. I don't know if it's just the super cold weather or what, but yeah. As I said earlier, I live in St. Paul, Minnesota, and when I woke up this morning, it was about 5 below, which I know it's December, but just feels kind of early for this cold weather, but that's probably just me, just because I hate it. Okay, let's get started. I am going to switch my camera over so you can see my desktop, and we will talk about Christmas treat holders today. I absolutely love anything crafty, and then you throw paper crafts in with that, and I'm all for it. Okay, so here's my tabletop. First, I want to show you something that I made yesterday. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh, you guys, I just love this gingerbread man so much. We are not making this today, but I did want to show it to you. I will put together instructions for it, and that will go out in my email newsletter. So if you're signed up for my email newsletter, you will receive the PDF for this. And it's like a tent easel card. I mean, I don't think you could mail this because it's got that front package on there. And this holds 3 Santa Kit Kats. But instead of putting this on the back, I thought it would, you could add another pocket. Like I was thinking, instead of putting this on the back, you could put another pocket, and you could put, like, here's candy, and you could put like a gift card on the other side. You know, there's so many possibilities for this, but I like it that it's like a tent, one of those easel. Isn't that cute? And I just love this gingerbread man so much. And then I did make this. This is another treat holder that I made. This is from the set Jar of Joy. And this has a little jar full of gingerbread cookies. And this has a sentiment on the back. It says, "Wishing you the sweetest Christmas." And then you open it, and there you go. There, it will hold 4 Hershey Kisses. It's super cute. I saw this from Brenda Quintana. She is just an expert at these little tiny boxes. I just love it. But I had to show you this one too. Then I made this. This is a rectangle, and it is super easy to make. And I decorated with that modern Christmas, the black and white DSP that has that little bit of gold in there, and I put some on the side. And then I just used some of the die cuts from the Christmas tags and more. Now, this will hold perfectly 4 Dove Promise chocolates. I do not have Dove Promise chocolates, but it will also hold one of the Kit Kat Santas, and you probably could put one other thing, but it does fill up almost the whole container. And that's just a nice little stocking stuffer, a nice little add-on gift for somebody. I just thought that was so, so cute. And then I made this like triangle box. Isn't that cute? And then at the top of it, you use one of Stampin' Up's punches. It's a tag topper. And while you're, once you have everything cut out and scored, you use the tag topper for that. I thought that was cute. And then you can put a couple extra holes in there to put a ribbon through and tie a ribbon. I just thought this was so, so cute. And then I just decorated it with some DSP and some of the die cuts from the Christmas tags and more. And then it just opens like this. See that? And this one again, you could put anything in there. There's 2 Santa Kit Kats, but I think 3 would go in there. You could put anything in this. This is so pretty. I just love this with the poinsettia on there and then the Happy Christmas. So there was another thing. What I am going to demonstrate today are these 2 things. Okay. I'm going to show you. So we have this will hold a credit card. Sure, you can get somebody a credit card. This will hold a gift card, or it should hold the smaller $1 scratch off lottery tickets. And I wanted to make something like this because I gift my uncles and my cousins, well, one cousin that comes over, whoever comes over to my mom's for Christmas basically, and my nephew and my brother, but I give little scratchers as just a little stocking stuffer. And this has a belly band, and you slide that off, and then you open it up, and you have this pocket. I didn't have a scratcher available, but I did put a little card in here. But I just thought this was so pretty. It just kind of ups your little stocking stuffer gift. Makes it extra special, I think. And then this just slides back on there. And then I used the what was this one called again? I can't remember. It's not pine tree, but it's something with the word pine in it. Evergreen. I can't remember. I'll have to look that up. And then this one I just absolutely loved. This is the same exact box. I just did them a couple different ways because I wanted to show it with DSP and with cardstock, because this does require 12 by 12 paper as well as the gift card holder / lottery ticket holder. So this right here is a card box. I love card boxes. So it opens like this, and there's a window here that shows what you put inside. And then you have your little card here. Okay, it opens at the top. I use some Velcro dots. And then inside, this is the perfect size to hold one of those little Debbie Christmas tree cakes. Now, I really wanted the white ones in my boxes. All they had was chocolate. But hey, it's chocolate, right? So that is what these hold. They're the perfect size for that. And the DSP works great. It's a little bit thinner, obviously, from your cardstock, but even so, it's sturdy enough to hold that. And then I just decorated it with the Christmas greenery, and then a paper bow and some of the little embellishments from that suite. And then this is the one with the cardstock, and this one I used that Christmas tags and more DSP, and I put the sentiment, "Oh Christmas Tree." This right here is new ribbon that came out with the November online exclusives. And then the same here, but this one I cut out, instead of a rectangle, I cut out the pine tree trimming die cut, because why not, right? It's a little Debbie Christmas tree. Might as well have a thing on the inside, right? And then I just stamped on here, wishing you the sweetest Christmas. I put a little bit of DSP at the bottom that matches the front. And if you wanted to, you could put a piece of DSP on the back as well. And this too is a Velcro dot. I used 2 Velcro dots on the other one because it just seemed like it wasn't holding as well because of the thinner paper, so I used 2. And again, this holds a little Debbie Christmas tree. And if you don't want to do the Christmas tree, this, like I said, it's a good size. The box here is 3 by 4 by 1. So that's the size of the box. So the first thing I want to show you how to make is the gift card holder. So I've already cut my pieces out to save on some time. And then we'll go ahead. We're going to decorate this one with the Jar of Joy. With some, I suppose we could set this here so we can see it. If anybody is watching, I'd love to hear from you. You can just put a little comment. And what are you up to today? Okay, so this right here is 3 7/8 by 12. You could easily use DSP for this, not a problem at all. But I did choose cardstock. So what you're going to do is obviously you're going to cut your cardstock or DSP at 3 7/8, and you're going to use a 12 by 12 piece. So it's 3 7/8 by 12. Then you're going to bring out your trimmer. Okay. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. Okay. And then you are going to start on the short side, the 3 7/8 side, and you are going to score at 2 3/4. Okay, just like that. Then you are going to rotate your paper and you are going to score on the 12-inch side at 2 7/8. Okay, and then extend your arm out so you can go up to 7 1/2. And you're going to score at 7 1/2. That's all the scoring that you need to do. That's all the trimmer you're going to need. That's all you're going to need it for. Because what we're going to do is we are going to trim off what we don't need. So what you need is this bottom piece. Because this will flip up. We are going to glue to hold your scratcher, lottery ticket, or your gift card holder. Hi, Debbie. How are you? Okay, and then we're going to cut this piece off, but you are going to want to keep this piece because this piece is going to be used for your belly band to go on your gift card holder / lottery ticket holder. So what are you up to today, Debbie? And then we are going to start by cutting this off. So you're just going to follow the score line. And you're going to cut right here. And then, if you wanted to, you could use your trimmer or longer scissors. I am just lazy, and I don't feel like looking for my longer scissors right now. I'm just going to use my paper snips. You're just going to cut, and I'm going slower because I'm trying to keep it straight and on that score line. So then what you're left with is this. But like I said, you want to hold on to this. Even though there's a score line in it, you can hide that. It's a belly band. So, and if you don't like the score line in it, by all means, before you do you could stop at a certain point, but don't go all the way to the bottom when you're scoring. But it really doesn't matter. So then you're going to take your bone folder and you are going to fold and burnish on the score line so you'll get a nice crisp edge. Just like this and like this. Okay. And then you're going to add your DSP. Okay. So you need a total of 3 pieces of DSP that measure, let's see, what do they measure? 2.5 by 4.25. And you're going to need 2 pieces of DSP that are 2.5 by 2.5. And you will need a piece that's an inch by 4.25. That goes right here. Okay, so I would like to start with the pocket. So I'm going to adhere my DSP. You're wrapping presents. Well, that sounds like fun. Okay, you're going to put in your DSP. I start with this first so that we can put together our pocket. And then I'm going to put my other strip of DSP on here. And before I glue my pocket together, I am going to cut a little notch for the like a thumb hole, finger hole, so it's easier to get out what you have in there. So I'm going to look for something that's not too big. Let me see, I'm going to have to stand up to get one of my punches. And I'm just using whatever, use what you have. This is a very old punch from Stampin' Up, and it's a 3/4 inch. So what you do is I just take whatever you have, flip it over. I eyeball it just to kind of see. Hi, Deb and Lish. I was almost on time. Hi, Mom. How are you? Okay, and then I'm just going to punch that. And then there we have that. So now we can glue down our pocket. Now I'm going to use liquid glue because I want a very thin line of glue. Very thin, so that you have more space in your pocket if you're going to put whatever, your gift card holder or your lottery ticket. And then I'm just going to hold that down for a couple seconds so it stays sticky stuck. Okay. And next, I am going to put this piece of DSP in the middle. I'm going to use seal for that. I'm going to put that right here. Okay. And then I'm going to take this other piece of DSP that's cut at the same size, which is 2.5 by 4.25. And I am going to put this on the, well, I didn't let my glue sit long enough. I'm going to let it sit here just a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to flip this over, and this is going to go on the back, but it will be your front when it's all put together. Okay, so now we have that. And then I am going to put one of the 2.5 by 2.5 squares of DSP, one on the inside and one on the front, just like this. And if you want, you could use all the same DSP. I kind of liked the idea of doing it just a little bit different. Normally I would do all the same, but I kind of liked it. Use all the different paper so you can see all the pretty pieces. Okay, and then this one's going to go on the front. Okay, now that piece that you cut off from right here for your belly band, that is 1.25 inches by 7.5. So what I did was I wanted to decorate my belly band, So I cut 7.5 inches by 1. No, 7/8. I just cut it by 7/8. And then I am going to add that to my belly band. So you are, somewhat covering up that score line that was made, which it really doesn't matter. Okay, so we have that ready. And then I have already stamped and punched my jar of joy. I stamped a snowman, and then I stamped wishing you the sweetest Christmas. And I'm going to put that on the inside right here. And I'm just going to use some seal. And then I also punched out of real red cardstock a little jar topper that we are going to put right there with some liquid glue. What does DSP mean? DSP stands for Designer Series Paper. And then we are going to glue that so we have our little jar there. And then we're going to close this and close this, and we are going to decorate the front. And I am going to use dimensionals for this one. I just love these little jars. They have gingerbread men that go on the inside. They have the snowman, and they have some ornaments, and then they have a couple different sentiments. So cute. I've made a couple cards with it too. It's a fun set. Okay, except for, you know what? I'm not going to put that here. I think I'm going to put that, I changed my mind. It's a woman's prerogative, right? Okay, so we're going to set that here. We're going to take this, and I want it right here when it goes on. I'm just going to line it up like this. You're welcome, Mom. We're just going to wrap this around. Just like this. Now you don't want it too tight, but you don't want it too loose either. You don't want it to be like loosey-goosey and just fall off. So I just take it and I folded it over, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to add some tearing tape because it's a little bit stronger. And if people are taking this on and off, I kind of want it to stay stuck, right? Okay. That there, I got this little extra piece. We're just going to put that there and that, and then we're going to put one more piece of tearing tape. And then when you're using your tearing tape, I like to make sure and, rub this down. It's easier to get the backings off when you do this because the tape is really stuck down on the paper. So the tape won't come with the pull off. I'm just going to take this. If you don't use your fingernails, you can take your pick tool. I see a lot of people use the tips of their scissors to peel the backings off. And then we are going to just make sure it's straight. And you're going to go like that. Okay. So now we have our belly band. It's somewhat tight, but it's not too tight. Okay, I'm going to peel my dimensionals up because we don't want them to stick in so you can't get the belly band off. And I'm going to put this right here. But I'm just going to put them, instead of on the cutout, I'm going to put them right on the belly band. Just like that. And I don't know if I have space for this one, but I don't want this on here anymore. Okay, and we're going to go like that. And now I'm going to take a little piece of dimensionals, some mini dimensionals, and I'm just going to tuck them right here. See at the, I'm not sure if you can see that, but I'm putting half of it under and half of it up so that I can put my jar popped up, my jar lid, popped up without, having to glue down your lid. So here we have this. And we're just going to attach that right to those. So then and you now do it straight. So there we have that. And then I took one of the, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like in a Firma pack and it has all Christmas scents. I wonder if I have it around. No, I don't right now. And this one says from our house to yours. And then what I'm going to do is I am just going to attach it with a mini dimensional. And I'm going to put it at the left-hand side where it says from, that side. And I am going to just kind of stick it like this and down at an angle. And then I'm going to take some of the real red and white baker's twine and we're going to tie it a little bow so it mimics a tag on the jar. I'm not going to punch a hole, but I'm just going to tie a little bow. It's like this. And you don't want it too big because you don't want it bigger than the jar. Just going to tie a little baby one. Just going to pull the edges. Just like that. And I'm going to grab some scissors and we're going to trim that down. Maybe my scissors need to be cleaned. So bad, they're so sticky. Okay. We're going to get this out of the way. And we are going to put that right about here with a glue dot. Okay. Then we're going to get it unstuck from my finger. Oh boy. Okay, and we are going to, I want it like this or like this? Well, I think I kind of want it like this, so I'm going to attach it right to the jar lid. And then I am going to take some peppermint adhesive, or peppermint adhesive backed embellishments, maybe. Yep, I still have them. And I'm going to decorate this, but I'm only going to put them on this side or on the belly band because you want to be able to slide this off. So let's grab some peppermints. I have a couple left on this one. So I'm going to put one right here. And I'm going to put a little one right here. And let's see, where should we put this other one? Maybe we could just make a triangle with them. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Just do 3 like that. So there's your first treat holder / gift card holder. So these are the 2, like this. And then, like I said, you just take your belly band, slide it off. And this one I did decorate. You could for sure put something else right here if you wanted to. And this one is pretty easy, but I think it's so pretty. I really do like this. It's a nice little stocking stuffer. So what do you guys think of this? You like these? I like them. I thought they were really cute. I love the one with the jar. I think that is so, so cute. Okay, so now let's make our big box that holds our Christmas tree cake. First thing I want to do is I want to show the diagram. This is what the box looks like. I made this so that if you're watching this video and if you'd like to take a screenshot, now's the time, because then you can get your dimensions if you'd like. As I stated before, if you sign up for my email newsletter, one of the perks of being on that list is you do receive PDFs for these. Okay, so this is 6.5 by 12. So both of our boxes use 12 by 12 paper. I tested both. They work both fine with 12 by 12 DSP if you do not have 12 by 12 cardstock. Oh, thanks, Debbie. So this is 6.5 by 12. Okay, I have a piece of already cut at 6.5 by 12. This is real red. This is the two-toned cardstock. So one side is the dark side is real red. This is the lighter version of real red. So it's a two-toned cardstock. So what we're going to do is we're going to score this. I'm going to grab my trimmer. And on the 12-inch side, we are going to start scoring at 1/2 inch. And because it's like, it sort of reminds me of the thickness of DSP, so I'm not going to push down as hard with my score blade. Okay, so we have 1/2, then we have 3.5, 4 3/4, 7 3/4, I'm going to make sure I got this straight here. With my arm, I don't think was out all the way. Okay, 7 3/4 and 9. Then you want to turn it, and then on the 6.5 inch side, you want to score at 1 1/4. Like I said, I'm going a couple times because I'm not pushing as hard. 1 1/2 and 5 1/4. And there you have your boxes all ready to be cut into your parts and pieces. Okay, let's take one of our boxes here. Let's take this one and set that right here so we see what we're making. Okay, so the side right here that you first made your 1/2 inch score line, this is going to be your glue tab. Okay, so you're going to take your scissors and we are going to cut at that 1/2 inch mark, and we're going to cut that little rectangle off. I was going to say triangle. And then I'm going to go at an angle here, if you can see that, like that. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to cut at an angle, and we're going to cut this off. Okay, so there's your glue tab when we put the box together. And then all that's left is to cut at the other score marks. Okay, so you want to cut there. There, these will be your tabs, and then I always like to miter my edges or cut in at an angle so that everything goes together easier and you don't have things bending out. Just makes it a nice box this way. And you cut up. And make your angle cuts. Maybe. Okay, and I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to cut up. And we're going to cut at an angle. Or miter your edges. Okay, so with that, I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to do this other tab. Just like so. Okay, now this side right here, so you have the side with your glue tab, and then you have this side here. Okay, you're going to cut off both of the flaps and then just leave this square here, this rectangle, because that will be the flap that will be the front of your card box, the flap that opens on your box. So this piece right here. Okay, and cut that off. Okay, so now this is almost ready. Now, you do not have to do a window in this if you do not want to. I just thought, you know, it looked really cool with the window in there. You can use any shape you'd like. So you want to take your paper. We're going to get this ready to go into our stamp cut emboss machine. Okay, so like I showed before, in here on this diagram, you want your die cut on this side by your glue tab. So I'm going to take my tree, my die, and I'm going to somewhat center that. Like I said, I just eyeball things. I'm not good at getting things perfect. I just takes away from the fun of it for me. And then I am going to take a piece of Post-it tape, and I'm going to, so it doesn't move around, so we get it somewhat, so we don't get a super crooked tree. Okay, I'm going to move in my emboss machine, and the reason why usually I do this stuff ahead, but I wanted you to see because this does not fit in your Stampin' Emboss machine because it's 6.5 inches and our embossing machine holds 6-inch paper. So I'm going to pull this big guy in. Okay, you're going to put this, and you see how this is sticking off. Okay, so the fix for that is to stick this off the side, put your plate over this, okay, and then you're going to bend up like this the flaps so that this goes through. I prefer, I've done it both ways. The other way is to put them under and then put the plate on the top. I prefer to run it through this way because then you don't get the die cut mark from your die. It doesn't cut through it, but you get that mark on there. So you just want to hold this and run it through. Make sure that it does, your paper is straight. And like I said, you just hold on to it as you're running it through. You do not have to go all the way through because you see the tree, and then you just can come back. Just like that. And that way, you can get a larger piece of paper in your Stamp Cut Emboss machine by just folding it over. Okay. Put this aside. Okay. So, at this point, this does get a little bit wrinkly. If it bothers you, you could, I did decorate my box top with DSP. It's totally up to you. Okay, so now we're going to take our die off of our machine, and we're going to set that aside. Put this back in here so that I don't lose my Christmas tree. I have used this little tiny stamp and die set so much. I mean, there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dies only in this. I've used them for Christmas this year so much already. I'm going to just put that aside, put my tape aside. So Mom, what'd you think? Did you see it go through the Stamp Cut Emboss machine? You've asked me about it before. Not sure if you're still watching or not. Okay, so we're going to flip this over. So now our tree is on the right, not the left. Okay, so we are going to fold and burnish our score lines. And you can see, I don't know if you can tell the difference between the lighter red and the darker red. And we're just going to fold these all up so that our box is easier to put together. And some nice sharp edges. Like that. this. All the tabs up. Must be the weather or whatever. I am just so dry today. And then talking, and I don't think I drank all my coffee already. Hi, Anne. How are you? Welcome. Anne, for those of you who maybe have never met Anne before, Anne is on the same team I'm on Melissa's team. We are the Incredible Crafters. You make it look so easy to do. Oh, thanks, Debbie. It really, truly is pretty easy. Okay, so yeah, so now we have this. Okay, I am going to use, yes, I did. I said yes out loud. First realized I had to type the reply. Thanks, cold. Are you cold? Yeah, I don't know what it is in Michigan, Ann, but when I got up this morning, it was 5 below. Okay. Well, Mom, I'm really glad you got to see it in action now. So I'm going to use tear and tape on this. Normally I would use liquid glue, but this goes together and you don't have really, I don't know, it's awkward. It's because you have to hold things shut, and this just makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so we're going to put some tear and tape on these little flaps, just like that. And that's why it's called tear and tape, because you can just set it on there and tear it. Okay, the only thing I did not burnish was on my glue flap, my glue tab. And I'm going to put a piece of tear and tape on there. Oops, make sure that it's straight. Doesn't go off the edge. Okay, you do not need any glue at the top, just on the bottom. So now, as I said before, you just want to rub these down so that they're stuck to the paper, so the backing comes off a little bit easier. It doesn't bring the glue with it. And I just peel it off. You could take your pick tool, you could use your scissors, whatever works easiest for you. Okay. See, and didn't get this one down good enough. The tape was coming with it. Okay, so I have these off. I think I'm gonna peel them all off. We'll see. Let's test this right here. I've never done this. Let's see if it's gonna work or be a mess with taking all the glue tabs off. I'm probably gonna regret this, but here goes nothing, right? Okay. So we are gonna fold this up like this, and we are going to glue that down. I don't know if you can see that. And then we're going to take this one, same thing. Brave, yes, I know. I just can't even believe I'm doing this, taking all the tape off. I'm going to do the other flap. So now you have this. Can you see that? Okay. Then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put this on the inside, just like so. Maybe not. Okay. Then, well, I'm going to stick my hand in here and get that stuck. Okay, then you're going to take your glue tab and you're going to fold it in. Okay, I did it. Yay! Okay. And you're just going to Hold that like that. Oh no, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put my window sheet in. Yes, and yes, to peel them all at the same time. I know, but you know what? Very brave. And I got so excited about my glue tabs, I forgot to put the window sheet in. So do as I say, not as I do, right? Okay, so you need a window sheet. Totally forgot. I got so excited. Okay, so your window sheet is 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. Okay. Normally you would take this and you would put, pretend this is unfolded, and you would run your tape along the inside. Well, because I did that, I am going to take my seal and run it across the edges, and I'm going to attempt to slide this in here, sticky side up. I know, and I shake my head more times a day at myself. Okay, well, I guess this isn't too bad, except for you got to get it all the way in there. Okay, hold on, hold the phone. Okay, you get it all the way to the bottom there. Ta-da! There, window sheet in. Yay! Okay, so this is the top of the box where I said you didn't need to put any glue. And then here we are going to use Velcro dots. You grab some Velcro dots here. Now I have two different sizes. I have this size and I have this size, the smaller size. The smaller size I think was better because it wasn't as thick, but use what you have. A magnet would work as well, or you could tie a ribbon around it, whatever you prefer. So what I like to do with my Velcro dots is I like to take them and put them together before I glue them down. So you want to make sure you have, and I have both the same here, because you have one side that's the tacky side, or not the tacky side, but you know what I mean with Velcro. You can tell one's got the fuzzy side and one's more the scratchy side. And I'm pretty sure that's the technical term for Velcro. And then you don't want to do this. You want sticky side up. So basically you're just putting your Velcro pieces together so that they line up. So you don't have to try to figure out how to get your Velcro to line up. Okay. So here we have our box. I am going to put my Velcro dots. I'm going to put one right here. And I'm going to put one right here. Now you could use 3. You could use 1. Okay. Now you just want to push this down. Rub it on there so that when you go to pull your Velcro off, hook and loop. God, Ann, I'm sitting here in my head going, there's a loop and there's something. There's a loop and there's something. Hook and loop. Thank you very much. And it's not stuck yet. Okay. So there we have our Velcro. Okay, and then I'm just going to go like this and really make sure that they're down. But now, because you stuck them together, I put them on opposite, but whatever. Okay, now they're stuck. So we have that. Okay, I pre-cut some stuff to decorate. I have the inside, I have the outside, I have a tag. I decided to use the cute Santa from Festive Friends to decorate it. But basically, so for your front, you want a piece of DSP that's 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, as well as your mat for the inside is the same size, 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. You want to stamp this before you put it on your box. It'll just make life a heck of a lot easier. So we're going to put that on. Okay. And we are going to take our box like this and go just like this. And I stamped a tree from Festive Friends in Old Olive, 2nd generation. And what that means is you ink up your stamp, you stamp off on a piece of scrap paper, and then stamp it. That 2nd generation stamping gives you a lighter version of Old Olive. And then I took We Wish You a Merry Christmas and stamped that over the top in black memento. Now I'm going to take my piece of DSP that I cut, like I said, 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and we're going to put this at the top, or on the top. Actually, you know what? I didn't cut this at, did I cut it? Yeah, 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. But I'm thinking, you know what? I changed it because I used a tag on the front of this, where before this is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. This one is 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. Only because I was using the tag from Festive Friends. If I would have done the 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, you would have barely have seen it. See? Okay. I am going to put dimensionals on the back of my tag that I cut from Festive Friends. I'm going to put a couple of those on. Okay. And we're going to put this on the front of our box, our card box. And I stamped and die cut my Santa on basic white, and I used black memento ink. I used real red blends for the suit. I used the basic black blends for his mittens and his boots. And then his face, I used petal pink, the light petal pink. And then I took my light flirty flamingo to give him some rosy cheeks, and I used the bullet tip for that. And then I went over it again with the light petal pink to blend it in to make it look like it was a blush on his cheeks. Then I took the light, light gray granite, and I just added a little shading, not everywhere, but I just put a little here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me see if you can see that. Probably not. It's kind of hard to tell. But there's some shading here, some here. It just gives it your image. It's not so flat. It gives it a little more dimension. And then we are going to add some dimensionals on the back of our Santa Claus. I just love Santa. I love Santa so much. My dad loved Santa. He just always believed in Santa. I just love that about him. Okay, and we're going to put them on the front. Then I also cut a tag from the Festive Friends. And I like this because it lines up. Oh, good. I'm glad you could see it. I'm glad. And I did a to from. And I want that to line up with that or not. Yeah, maybe. That's okay if it sticks off the edge, right? I'm going to put one dimensional close to the left side. And I'm going to line that up. Then I'm going to take some of this real red and white. Now I want to make a double bow. I'm going to take it and I'm going to fold it in half and then cut it at the top and then do my double bow. I'm just going to hold the two, well, do I want to thread it through or not? Well, let's thread it through once and see. Oh yeah, we could do that. Okay. And now I'm going to tie my bow on my tag so it looks like an actual gift tag. Okay. Except for I want it to kind of go like that. And then we're going to grab make our little loops here. And then I'm going to pull on the tails of my bow to make the loops smaller. Or some people might call them your rabbit ears. And when I learned how to tie my shoes, I don't think anybody ever called them, I don't think I wasn't taught with bunny ears. Okay, so I'm going to trim off this edge, snip, and this one, and then I am going to use some of these sparkly little guys, and I'm going to use the green. I'm going to put one here, I'm going to put a little right here, and then I'm going to take one of the medium ones and I'm going to go doot, 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 right here maybe? Or should I go down further? Maybe down further. Okay, and then, like I said, it fits, oh, this little, and you weren't here at the beginning. I don't know if you saw this, but this holds a Little Debbie Christmas tree cake. I couldn't get the white ones because I thought the white ones would be prettier. They only had the chocolate, and that's what fits on the inside. Open our box up. And add that in there. Close it up. And voila, you have your tree cake with a tree cut window. How cute is that? So those are our projects for today. And this is the other one that had the tree. And then the other one I made, the first one, had a rectangle. And that's when I had the light bulb came on and went, oh, cut a Christmas tree. And this one I used the postage die set. Thanks, Debbie. Thanks, Anne. That's those. And then we had our gift card holder / lottery ticket holder. Just like that. So what do you guys think? Some extra ideas for you with, it's the beginning of Christmas. Oh, and it is, let's see, today is what? The 4th? So if you do St. Nick at your house, these would make great St. Nicholas gifts too. Because I know St. Nick comes on, usually when you get up on the 6th, then you have St. Nick comes. I remember when I was a kid, we used to fill our shoes and put them on the porch. And I always thought it was so funny that the stuff that my dad liked, the stuff that my mom liked, was always in their shoes. I just could never figure that out. Let's flip this over here. I'm going to take this off of my tabletop. Okay, let's get me. Okay, now it's just me. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I appreciate it very much. It's a lot easier to craft with you than not. Then I feel like I'm talking to the air, which is so weird. I've never been a talk to myself person, so it helps to know that you guys are there. Okay, so next week, Thursday, I do not know the date. I want to say the 11th, but I could be very, very wrong. I will be showing you, it will be Class to Go, and it will be branching out. is the set I will be using. The branching out bundle is awesome. And I'm pretty sure that the dies are not retiring, they're sticking around. The stamp set is retiring because it's in the mini catalog, this catalog, and now I can't even believe this. In here I'm showing you guys this catalog, and I don't have my tabletop camera on. But anyway, the mini catalog ends the end of December, so I had to fit in that branching out bundle quick before it was over, right? But I don't think the dies, the branching out set is on the last chance list, but the dies I believe are sticking around, which is awesome because those dies are to die for. Anyway, thank you all very much. I appreciate it, and I'm going to sign off and say see you later, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.